I'm just gonna rip off the band-aid immediately. We're not gonna talk about it too heavily immediately, but I know a lot of people are waiting because they're worried about what the theme of this stream is going to be. So I will say it now, and then we'll do the proper discussion and properly talk about it bit by bit. I am in fact going to be graduating in just over 2 weeks. My final stream will be on the 5th of May, 2025. So it will be 505 day. That will be my final stream, and it will be like basically just with you guys, just doing a Zatsudan, just saying goodbye to everybody. So yeah, I think a lot of people had a feeling that this was going to happen. I've got a big long statement that I'm going to share with it that I'll read out properly later, and I'll explain all my reasons and everything. But basically, I don't want anyone to think that I'm particularly like, there's no problems with me and the company. Me and the company, we're separating on good terms. I am leaving on good terms. I'm happy with everything that I've achieved here, and I'll share all of that properly in a couple of minutes. But just, yeah, things have just been going in this direction for a while. It's very much just a case of like, I have things that I want to do that I can't do here, and as much as I've loved my time here, I have to move on to elsewhere. With that said, my statement begins now. I didn't want anyone to hear it from anyone other than me first, because I know this is going to be very hard for a lot of you to hear. In a little while, the official Nijisanji Twitter account will be announcing that I'll be graduating and leaving the company on May the 5th, 2025. It's not a decision that I made lightly, and it's not something that I rushed into. It's a decision that I've kind of had in the back of my mind for a long time now, but just before the end of 2024, I was set on my decision to end my time as Fulgur Ovid and leave Nijisanji. I know that this decision is going to hurt a lot of confidants, and I am so sorry that it will. These past 3 years have meant so much to me, and I've meant it every time I've said recently that you've helped me to become a better person and see my self-worth. With that in mind, I would like to talk a little bit about why I've chosen to leave Nijisanji. And if you need to step away from this at any point, please feel free to, and remember that the VOD will always be here if you decide to return and listen at a future time. But I'm going to do my best now to explain my reasons for leaving for anyone who would like to hear them. I'm going to try to be as clear and concise as I can so nothing gets twisted into any other kind of direction. If you've been watching my content for a while, then you likely unfortunately seen me go through spirals of depression and self-loathing often. Mental health issues are just a part of life for me, and while I do my best to manage them, I haven't always managed to keep them out of streams. I'm not saying that streaming has ever been a detriment to my mental health, and in fact, on the contrary, I would even say that streaming with the confidants has actually helped me feel a bit better when I was feeling down. If anything, the times that my mental health hit an absolute low tended to be when I was physically unable to stream, and I felt like I was letting people down, and I was also letting myself down in the things that I wanted to do. My mental health hit an extra low point a few months ago, when a project I'd been working on for months and invested a lot into and hired a lot of skilled people to work on fell through. That was a big blow to me and shook my confidence and my ability to produce anything in the future. Then later on, I suffered from personal tragedies and hit a rock bottom in my mental state, which any of you who watch my streams already know about, so I'm not going to bring it up again. I'm stating all this outright now because I don't want to hide anything from anyone. Basically, I was just broken down by a lot of things in my life going wrong and had some very dark thoughts which I had to battle with. Once I had overcome those thoughts, I returned to streaming and life with a new mindset that really affirmed what kind of person that I want to be and what kind of content creator I want to be. It meant the world to me that you guys were willing to give me so much support and love in my lowest time, and also encouraged my greatest dreams of writing and creating stories, as well as just being a silly anime man on streams. What I reaffirmed in early 2025 was the fact that I love streaming. I love making my stories, and I love this community that we've built so much more than I can ever say. As much as I love many of the people at Nijisanji and being a part of something so amazing, it's also become clear that I do not really belong here. At some point, I realized that one of the things that's been detrimental to my mental health is the corporate setting of Nijisanji. That's not to say that Nijisanji is a bad corporation. I want to make that very clear, and I don't want anyone to think that's what I'm implying. I got a lot out of my time at Nijisanji, and I'm in a much more secure place after these 3 years than I've ever been in my life before them. What I am saying is that me as a person does not suit being in a corporate setting, where everything I do reflects on a company's image. I'm a very free-spirited individual, and I'm also into very dark humor, adult content, and lots of niche interests. That really doesn't suit a corporate setting. Especially not one that has investors to answer to and hundreds of employees making their livelihood off of it. Me just having a bad day and saying some stupid thing can be very detrimental to so many other people, and it's a lot of pressure to put on someone. Anybody who decides to join a large corporation has to understand that. So while the sheep pile has been a warm and comforting home for these last 3 years, I'm gonna have to leave it to achieve the things that I want to achieve. I have more streams that I want to do, more memories that I want to make, and more stories that I want to tell. And I feel confident enough to step out into the world on my own and chase those dreams. I don't think Nijisanji is losing too much by losing me. And I think more than anything, yeah, it's time for me to step forward and go out into the world on my own. So once again, I'd like to make clear that none of what I'm saying is an attack on Nijisanji. I have my own share of grievances and disagreements with upper management, but those are things that every work relationship has. And compared to lots of other people, I've been one of the incredibly lucky ones with how many opportunities I've gotten during my time here. Even just being able to leave on my own terms and say a proper goodbye is something that I don't take for granted. And I wanted to do it as properly as I can. Another part of the reason that I want to leave Nijisanji now is that I did see myself becoming resentful in some ways in the past. And I want to walk away from the company now while I can still treasure those memories and be proud to have been here. It's worked out very well that the company is flourishing now thanks to the hard work of the livers who share so much of themselves with everyone. On my own side, I did my best not to leave any regrets behind and created memories with as many members of Nijisanji as I could, including all the stuff with Noctyx recently because I knew it was my last chance to make these memories. And I will always be thankful to everyone at Nijisanji who joined me for all my silly ideas. Being able to be a member of Noctyx has been the honor of my life. If any of you don't know, every member of Noctyx came from a similar place of seeing Nijisanji as a last chance kind of situation. I won't speak for any of the others, but for my part, when I got the invitation to join Nijisanji, I'd already applied here and to several other places multiple times. My health was in a bad place physically and mentally, and if I hadn't made it in, I honestly don't know where I would be right now, if I would be anywhere. It's had its ups and downs, but one thing that will only ever be positive to me was the relationship that I formed with Noctyx. Again, there's been some ups and downs there. We're all human and we have differences in opinions and good and bad days. So of course there have been issues every now. We were even the first wave to lose one of our members who realized early on that their strengths could be better used outside of a corporate environment. And even in that, it's been nice to see the beauty that's been brought into the world by them. Nonetheless, what I really want to say is that I don't think I would have survived 1 week as Fulgur Ovid if I didn't also have Hugo Asuma, Sonny Briscoe, Albin Knox, and Uki Violetta at my side. And I'm not sure if I'd be walking away nearly as happily or nearly as long and successfully if it weren't for Uki, Albin, Sonny, and even baby girl Mane-san being here for the 3 years that I've had here. They meant the world to me. In the future, I'm excited to cheer them on as a fan since I already know how amazing this community is and they're so supportive to each other too. I'm going to be working on chasing my own dreams and I want them to be free to pursue theirs without my ghost weighing them down. Also, I feel it should be pointed out that the boys knew of my decision as soon as I made it. They were the first ones I talked to after baby girl Mane-san. So although we're probably going to get emotional and cry our eyes out a few more times on the way out, we've been coming to terms with it for a while. They accept my reasons for graduating and support my decision because they want nothing but the best for me as I do them. As I said, I just don't think this is the best place for me to be, and we've come to accept that. While being at Nijisanji, I've gotten to develop my skills in a lot of areas, meet incredibly talented creators that have inspired me, and gained valuable insights that will help me in the future. I'm graduating from Nijisanji not because I feel that I'm better than it or because I don't feel that I deserve to be here, but rather because it was a fantastic opportunity and now I'm ready to do something new. The security that it's provided me for the last 3 years has been like a dream. Sometimes with some nightmarish moments, but even still, I know that my next journey is going to be much more perilous since I'll be taking it myself. As I said, I've learned a lot while I've been here and I feel confident to begin that journey thanks to all the support and love that this community has given me, even at the times when I really didn't deserve it. To my confidants, I hope that you'll believe me when I say how much that I cherish this community. Whatever you're feeling right now, whether it is pain, anger, fear, or even if it's joy, since you know I really do mean that I want to make this a positive step, just let yourself feel it. Your feelings are valid and you should let yourself feel them even if other people might not understand why this means so much to you. I get it. I understand that with me graduating, it's not just the fact that I won't be a part of Nijisanji anymore, that there won't be any Fulgur Ovid streams. There's also the feeling that maybe none of this meant anything to me if I'm willing to throw it away, but I promise that that isn't true, even if it might feel that way. One of the things that I love about this community is the fact that even when I'm not around and I've needed to step away, you've always looked out for each other. And I know that you're going to this time too. So if you need to take some time to separate yourself from the community and reevaluate your priorities and relationships, then please give yourself that time. Process everything as much as you need to. And if you'd like to come back and find us again, we will be there to welcome you once more. If you choose to leave and feel better for it, then that's completely okay too. As long as you take care of yourself and are happy, that's ultimately what matters.